Welcome back to another episode of DAS with your host, Sean Mack. And today we're going to be discussing the late former running back from the Carolina Panthers, Fred Lane, who on July 6 of 2000 was murdered by his wife, Deidre Lane. She said it was in self-defense, but the judge saw otherwise. He saw it as a premeditated crime. So if you like today's content, make sure you share, like, and subscribe to the video. So let's go. This article's from sportscasting.com. Nobody expected Fred Lane to make it to the NFL. After all, he played his college ball at Lane College, a small historically black college located in Jackson, Tennessee. Yet the fiercely determined small school star became a highly successful running back for the Carolina Panthers. Unfortunately, his career and life ended way too soon. Lane died at the age of 24, and worst of all, his death came by the hands of his wife. Here's the story of Fred Lane's tragic death. Fred Lane may have just spent 3 years in Carolina, but he managed to become one of the best players in franchise history in that short time span. Of course, his journey to the NFL began back at Lane College, where he racked up 3,612 rushing yards. Despite a record-setting career, Lane did not get drafted. Instead, he signed with the Panthers as an undrafted free agent ahead of the 1997 season. The small school rookie quickly showed everyone why he belonged in the NFL. Though he started just 7 games, Lane led the Panthers with 809 rushing yards and 7 touchdowns on 182 carries. Lane earned more playing time in the second season. He started 11 games and recorded 717 rushing yards and 5 touchdowns on 205 carries. However, 1996 first-round draft pick Tim Biakabatuka eventually ciphered snaps away from Lane during the 1999 season. After pacing the Panthers in carries and yards for 2 straight seasons, Lane earned just 115 carries. Meanwhile, Biakabatuka turned in the best season of an otherwise disappointing career. The 6-foot, 215-pound running back outproduced Lane across the board with 718 yards and 6 touchdowns. But during the offseason, the Panthers traded Fred Lane to the Indianapolis Colts, only he would never line up next to Peyton Manning in the backfield. In fact, he would never play another NFL down again. Just a few months after getting traded to the Colts, Fred Lane took his last breath. On July 6 of 2000, his wife, Deidre Lane, shot and killed her husband inside their home. Authorities said Deidre Lane shot her husband as soon as he walked through the door. She shot him a second time in the back of the head after walking through his blood. But according to an AP report, Lane told the 911 operator, quote, "He just got shot because he wouldn't leave me alone. I kept telling him to stop," end quote. However, at her sentencing hearing, prosecutors told a different story. While defense attorneys claimed Deidre Lane killed her husband in self-defense, prosecutors described her as an abusive woman who ended her husband's life to collect insurance money. Deidre Lane entered a guilty plea for voluntary manslaughter in 2003. Deidre Lane received a sentence of 7 years and 11 months. The judge ruled that her actions were premeditated and deliberate. Despite taking her husband's life in cold blood, Deidre Lane emerged as a free woman on March 3rd of 2009. She served less than 6 years in prison before getting released from the Raleigh Correctional Center for Women. Wow. Wow. I tell you, this world, boy, this world. Doing that read just made me sick to my stomach. But while that was playing, I was keeping some receipts. I got receipts. So bear with me. We're going to get out of here soon. I won't keep y'all too long. Once again, if you like today's content, make sure you share, like, and subscribe to the channel. I'm Sean Mack. She shot him in the back of the head the second time. She wasn't in danger at that moment. I'm going to play devil's advocate. I'll play devil's advocate. I'll just play devil's advocate. Let's say that she was in a abusive relationship. She wasn't that day. She wasn't that day. They say she waited behind the door. They say his keys were still in the door. His keys were still in the door, which means you got there, you go right there, you go in, she hit him. Boom. He fell or either he ran. They didn't really give a description, but he was on his face. land on his belly. She came behind him, as they said, walked in the blood, walked in the blood, walked in the blood. Shot him again in the back of the head. And I didn't say it in the read, but it was a 12 gauge shotgun. If anybody know anything about that 12 gauge, that's a hunting rifle. That's a hunting gun. Buckshot, slugs. You don't have a chance to survive that at such a close range. She's foul for that. She's foul. Another note. Say she did it for the insurance money. My thing is this. You must really had to hate him to kill him. Because it's for the insurance money. You could have just got a divorce. He paid you alimony. Not sure if you had kids. Could have been child support and alimony. He makes way more money than you. He's an NFL star, NFL player. So he could have gave you money. You could still be getting money from him to this day. And both of y'all could be in y'all separate ways and have y'all separate lives. Instead, he's lying in the ground. Foul. To me, I had this down here in bold letters. It was done in cold blood. She was foul. She was foul. She was evil. Just done in cold blood. Didn't get a man a chance. Just hit him off. And as I said, for those who be, I play devil's advocate. Maybe she did. Maybe she was in an abusive relationship. But you weren't that day when you premeditated and killed him as he was putting his keys into the hole to walk through the threshold of his house. His house. Get what I'm saying? She only got 6 years. I don't know. This is in Raleigh, Carolina. It's Carolina, right? Not sure how she got 6 years. She got 7, but she only did 6 and 11 because she had done time served. Not sure how she got that little time for a premeditated murder. Say it again. Not sure how she only got 6 years and 11 months for a premeditated murder when the judge said she did it intentionally and deliberately and for the insurance money. Judge put a little extra sprinkle on that. And I know why you did it. You're evil and I know why you did it. Not sure how she got that much time. Such less time. But after she got out, said she changed her name to Deidre Gray. And she got a job. From what I know and where I come from and living in America in certain cities and stuff, you're a convicted felon. You pretty much ain't getting a job. But she changed her name. So I guess changing her last name to Gray. Not sure if that was her name before she married Fred Lane. But she changed her name back to Gray. Don't know why. But somehow she still got a job. Check out the job she got. She got a job running a children's summer camp in Raleigh as a convicted felon. She got that. It's foul. Making me sick finishing this. Let me get out of here. But I guess they did a background check, or they didn't do a background check, or they knew who it was and just wink, wink, nod, nod, let her through. But when the community and the parents of the kids attending the camp found out, her boss didn't fire her. They didn't fire her because the parents were in an uproar. You have a murderer raising our kids and you didn't tell us, a convicted felon. They didn't fire her. They just moved her and reassigned her to an administrative lead role in the university. You double standard much? Wink, wink, nod, nod. You double standard much? She got out. Only did 6 years and 11 months. Not saying 6 years and 11 months, but this guy's dead forever. He's never leaving that pine box from under that ground 6 feet deep. And they gave her that. To me, she should have got 25 to life. She should still be in jail or just now getting out if you want to be lenient about it. 25 to life. You know? And I just want to say I'm sorry, Fred Lane, for that happening to you. But it's a precautionary tale to all my dogs out there. Even women. If you're in a relationship that's abusive, get the hell out. Don't wait till one day where you have to kill him. Just go. Just go. Get help. I know how it is. I know it's hard. Trust me, I know it's hard. No one believes you. They're saying, well, he's stalking me. Well, he has to technically do you something in order for us to. Nah, it's horrible. Just leave. Men, just leave. If she with you for the money and you got that feeling, just leave. So I'm going to leave it right there before I bust a blood vessel. Because that got me heated. You never see me heated. I'm calm. Sean Mack, DAS. But I just want to say rest in peace to Fred Lane. And I hope somewhere in her heart that it just irks her every day that she did what she did. Because I'm pretty sure she's moved on with her life. She has another husband. And she probably have kids by now. By the way, nice looking young lady. Nice looking black young lady. Down south looking black young lady, but evil. So I'm gonna get on out of here. If you like the content, make sure you share, like, and subscribe to the channel. I've been Sean Mack, and this is Death After Sports. Fred Lane. Peace. Welcome back to another episode of DAS with your boy, Sean Mack. And today we're going to be discussing Trevor Berbick, mostly known for his fight with Ali, which was Muhammad Ali's last fight. Also known for the fight inside and outside the ring with Larry Holmes, but most noted for losing the WBC heavyweight title to Mike Tyson back in 1986, I think it was. But he had a tough life, and he had a rough life and a very disturbing life. So let's get right to it. In 1992, Trevor Berbick was convicted of forcing himself upon his children's babysitter. He was sentenced to 5 years in jail. He only served 15 months. 14 years later, on October 28 of 2006, Berbick was beaten to death by his 20-year-old nephew in Norwich, Jamaica. This is a tale of karma doesn't forget, and when it comes in the form of a pipe. So remember, if you like today's content, make sure you share, like, and subscribe to the video. So let's go. In 1980, Berbick upset ex-champion John Tate with a 9th round KO, securing him the title shot against Larry Holmes on April 11 of 1981, but Berbick lost a 15-round unanimous decision. In the second fight after the loss, he beat 39-year-old Muhammad Ali by unanimous decision in the final fight of Ali's career. On March 22nd of 1986, Berbick won the WBC World Heavyweight title by upsetting Pinklon Thomas by unanimous decision. This led to the mega fight everyone coined Judgment Day, two heavyweights getting it on in the center of the ring. On November 22nd of 1986, in his first title defense, Berbick took on Mike Tyson, who was looking to break Floyd Patterson's record and become, at the age of 20, the youngest ever heavyweight champion. In the second round, Tyson dropped Berbick with a quick knockdown. Berbick was quickly overwhelmed by his opponent, and late in the round he went down again. The champion rose to his feet, but immediately stumbled backwards and fell back on the canvas. Berbick tried twice more to make it to his feet, but fell both times, and referee Mills Lane stopped counting and waved the fight off to end Berbick's reign as a champion. As I mentioned earlier in the intro, Berbick was arrested on a number of occasions throughout his life, and he was sentenced in Florida to 5 years in prison for forcing himself on his children's babysitter in 1992. He served only 15 months. In 1997, he violated his parole and was deported from the United States to Canada. Due to his legal issues, he also had problems staying in Canada, losing his landed immigrant status and being ordered back to Jamaica in 1999. On October 28 of 2006, Berbick was murdered at his church in Norwich, Jamaica, by an assailant wielding a 2-inch steel pipe. He sustained repeated blows to the head and died at the scene. Police arrested 2 men, one of whom was Berbick's 20-year-old nephew, Harold Berbick, in connection with the murder. They were interrogated at Port Antonio's police station in Portland earlier on the morning of October 29th. Local residents indicated that the suspects were involved in a land dispute with Berbick. On November 3rd, it was reported that Berbick's nephew, 20-year-old Harold Berbick, and an unidentified 18-year-old man had been charged in his murder by Jamaican police. On December 20th of 2007, Harold Berbick was convicted for the murder of his uncle. His accomplice, Keaton Gordon, was convicted of manslaughter, and both men were sentenced on January 11 of 2008. Harold Berbick was sentenced to life in prison. Keaton Gordon was sentenced to 14 years in prison. Oh, Trevor, what a tangled web we weave when we choose to deceive. That's how it goes. My mother used to say that when I was younger. I think that's what it is. But I have some notes here, as always. Got 3 things I'm going to go over. Remember, if you like today's content, make sure you share, like, and subscribe to the channel and to the video. And make sure you hit up those notifications, press your notifications, so we be all in your notifications when we drop our videos. Like I said, I have 3 things here. Try to make sense of this crazy case and take some life lessons out of this case. Number 1, why did the justice system fail this young lady? Now, sometimes when I speak on these certain issues, I'll have men get in the comment section and be like, well, they wrong us too. We're not always on the right side of the law when it comes to the findings in the justice system. And I agree with that wholeheartedly. But I like to speak about the case that I'm dealing with at that moment. And like Fred Lane, guy, football player, shot by his wife for the money and for the insurance money, and took him out in a foul manner. When I did that video, I didn't speak on how foul men are. I was speaking on the women that done that incident, what she did. But this happened in Florida. He got 5 years. He was sentenced to 5 years, Trevor Berbick, and he did 15 months. It's not too much online about that case. Maybe she was a little younger and they didn't put the information out there or whatnot, but it wasn't much information on that case. But it would happen in Florida, and as they say, the craziest places in the world, in the United States, is the Bronx and Florida. I like to put New Orleans in there as well. People must not watch that news. I'm originally from New Orleans. My parents still live there, so I stay in contact with what's going on in that crazy ass town. But the justice system did fail her. He should have did more time than what he did. And in certain situations, in certain cases where it's just something that we need to work out. That's why voting is important. Sometimes I feel it is, sometimes I feel it's not, but we need to have people in there that represent us as a community, black community, and as a society. We need to vote people in that represents us and know the struggles that we go through, right? But that the justice system definitely failed that young lady. But that is a story for another day, and it's a tale as old as time. Number 2, most family disputes can be worked out. It don't have to end with violence. Now check this case out. His nephew, 20 years old, took him out with a lead pipe in church. Hope he asks for forgiveness for his sins, Trevor. I really do. But now Trevor's dead, and that young man is in jail for life. Now who gets the land? Not them two. None of them have the land. So you fighting over something that no one has now. I'm pretty sure it just went on down the line to another family member. Now no one has the land. So was it worth it? You're in jail for life. Your accomplice is in jail for 14 years. And your uncle Trevor, which I'm pretty sure did good things for you, is dead. You killed him. Now, when I do these stories, I don't pretend that I know these people personally, right? I read the story, I collect the information, and I give my opinion. So sometimes it might seem like it's a little harsh on what I say, but some things is just what I believe, and it's how I'm reading the case at that moment. Number 3, don't forget who you've wronged in life, because don't forget who you've wronged in life and all of your bad deeds, because they will come back to haunt you. So just remember, try to be a good person. Don't treat people horribly. Don't do things horrible to people. Don't do crimes to people. Don't just wrong somebody. Don't just talk about somebody, which it seems like it's not that big of a deal, but I believe in karma. I believe in bad energy as well, to where you can talk yourself into something that you didn't even really want. Sometimes in life we do something in our 20s that's like horrific, especially like where I'm from. You do something in life that's like a horrific thing, but then 10 years pass, excuse me, you're 30 years old and you forgot about those things, and something bad happened to you in your life, and you ask God, or you just ask to the heavens, why me? But you forget about the wrong things that you've done and the bad deeds that you've done in life to people. So try to be a good person. That's all I can say. And try to make sure and remember, if you do somebody something wrong, most likely it's going to come back on you. My last words, be the best person that you can be in life, because karma is a B, and she doesn't forget. Look how Trevor went out. Pretty sure he didn't think when he was getting hit with that pipe. Why is he getting hit with that pipe? He knew it was his nephew behind the land dispute, but he didn't realize it was the karma of the world and what he did 14 years ago to that young lady. The chickens came home to roost, and all those good sayings that they say. On that note, I've been Sean Mack, and this is Death After Sports. Trevor, Berbick. Peace.
You promise that you will not ask me another question about the case?
I will never ask you again.
We won't have to talk about it anymore.
Just did you do it?
No, I didn't. Nope. Did not do it.
Welcome back to another episode of DAS with your boy, Sean Mack. And we all know what happened on June 12th of 1994. Nicole Brown Simpson and Ryan Goldman was found murdered at a house outside of Los Angeles, California. We all know that OJ went through the chase. We all know that OJ went through the trial. We all know that OJ was acquitted of this crime. But it's been a floating theory out there that it actually was his son Jason. So we're going to take a deeper dive into that theory, see can we work it out. So if you like today's content, make sure you share, like, and subscribe to the video. So let's go.
But people have said, well, who did it? I said, well, I worked 18 hours a day for, 17 months on this case. And forget about since then, all the times I've thought about it. I don't know who did it, but I know who didn't do it. O.J. Simpson did not murder two people. I've had people, friends, slam the table. You think everybody's innocent. I mean, just emotionally get crazy over O.J. Simpson being innocent. I've had almost a fist fight in my own backyard. A friend of mine's brother came down, we're visiting, having a barbecue. This is way after the trial. This guy wants to have a fist fight with me. I'm just telling you what I think. I wasn't there, but I'm pretty certain this guy couldn't have killed two people, and here's why. They want to hear it.
This article is from Jennifer Tisdale. Quote, well, I have Jason's diary where he says, I cut away all my problems with a knife. I have the murder weapon. End quote. It's impossible to explain the significance of the O.J. Simpson verdict to anyone who wasn't a fully formed human being in October of 1995. This was a complicated case that was coming on the heels of an incredible racial unrest in the city of Los Angeles. It had only been 3 years since the brutal beating of Rodney King, a black man, by members of the Los Angeles Police Department. Those officers were acquitted, which kicked off the Los Angeles riots in May of 1992. When you consider this, and the racist remarks of Los Angeles Police Department Detective Mark Furman, who was investigating the murders of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ryan Goldman, it was undoubtedly a recipe for a non-guilty verdict. No one trusted the Los Angeles Department, and they had good reason not to. One theory has been put forth by a private investigator who followed the case from the start. Distractify spoke with William Deere about why he believes the killer is actually Simpson's oldest son. Deere has devoted much of his career to the idea that Simpson's son Jason Simpson is the actual killer. When asked about the most compelling evidence he has, Deere told us, quote, I have Jason's diaries where he says, I cut away my problems with my knife, end quote. Deere then revealed that he has in his possession what he believes to be the knife used to kill Nicole and Goldman, quote, two of the top experts in the country who deal with knife wounds feel that he has the murder weapon, end quote, Deere said. He then referenced an incident from December of 1992 where Jason was arrested for attacking his then employer with a knife. According to UPI, court documents show that Jason assaulted a restaurant owner called Paul Goldberg. Not only did Jason threaten him with a knife, he also punched and kicked him. Jason was then charged with 3 felony accounts of assault and battery, but pleaded guilty to a reduced misdemeanor charge of disturbing the peace. He received 2 years of probation and 10 days of community service. A friend of Deere's purchased a storage unit that Jason was previously renting but owed money on. Inside were several boxes of his things, which included but weren't limited to the aforementioned diaries, and a knife as well, and a picture of Jason wearing a knit cap. similar to the one authorities found at the crime scene. Deer's other evidence can be found in his self-published book, O.J. is Guilty, but Not for Murder, released on November of 2000. The book touches on Jason's previous diagnosis of intermittent rage disorder, for which he was prescribed Depakote. Jason had also allegedly physically assaulted 2 ex-girlfriends. Quote, Jason grabbed me and pinned me down on the bathroom floor, then grabbed me by my braids. He started whacking off my hair with the chef's knife, end quote, said one of the women in the book. That same woman told Deer that 2 months before the murders, Jason told her he was no longer taking his medication. Apparently, it messed with his head. Deer thinks that Simpson took the blame for his son and spent decades covering up for him. Quote, I'm a father. I have 2 sons. I don't know what I would do, end quote. Facts. His last words are facts. William Deer was his name, the detective. Facts. I would do anything for either one of my children, my son or my daughter. I would do anything for them. So that's just a fact. I don't know what I would do if I was put in that situation. But remember, if you like today's content, make sure you share, like, and subscribe to the channel. It helps out a lot. And make sure you hit those notifications so we be all in your notifications when we drop them. I have my receipts as usual. I have 7 things here that I want to discuss. Maybe we can get down to the bottom of this. Remember, hit up that comment section and let me know what you think. Jason was working as a sous chef at the restaurant Nicole and Ryan was dining at that night. That's number 1. Number 2, Jason took a break after Nicole and Ryan left the restaurant, according to the staff working there that night. So it's just lining up. We all know that they didn't get along that well, and one time before at the restaurant he had issues with Nicole. That would have been his stepmother, technically his stepmother, right? Number 3, there was no documentation of Jason leaving the restaurant that night because he was on salary. People on salary, if you don't know, they don't clock in, they don't clock out. So it's only information that's given by the staff that he did leave that night and that he did come back. They don't know the time frame, but it kind of lines up with the time frame. To me, it seems weird that the LAPD never did actually put him under investigation, being that he had issues with Nicole in the past. That lead me to believe that, the LAPD was crooked then. They're probably crooked now. But, back then they had the Rodney King thing going on. No one really trusted the LAPD. And it seemed like the LAPD just wanted it to be OJ. And they didn't look in any other manner for any other suspects. That's kind of strange to me. Number 4. And this is something that seems as weird. It's short, but you have to take it into consideration. OJ was an old man. I know he's dead. He's passed away, but he was old back then. He had arthritis. He had played in the NFL. Pretty sure he had CTE. But remember, Jason Simpson, OJ's son, was a chef, which means he was real handy with the knives. He was younger. He probably was stronger, being that he was younger, and he's real handy with the knives. I think people don't look into that a little bit harder. They don't give that much credibility that he was a chef. And I work in the restaurant business. I'm a manager. So, and I've cooked since when I was younger. I've cooked recently. I can do it all. And to be handy with that knife is something that people really underestimate. Number 5, he had anger issues. He took meds for his anger issues. At that time, according to that young lady, he wasn't taking his meds. And if you know anybody that's on any type of medication, when they get off their meds, things get a little strange and they can get a little weird. He had violent previous encounters with women, as I stated earlier in the read. That ended with Jason being arrested for 3 felonies, and then he copped out and got the misdemeanor charge, which I don't know how you go from 3 felonies to a misdemeanor charge when you're putting hands on people. That's kind of strange. That's kind of weird. It was known that Jason and Nicole did not get along. He did not like Nicole. Probably figured she was a younger woman. She was just gold digging on his daddy. That's why he probably didn't like her. Let's just be real, lay it all on the table here. And the staff at the restaurant said that Jason did come back and he was sweating and he was wearing different clothes that night. Why the LAPD didn't look into it, I think it's a case of we want it to be OJ. We think it's OJ. We're going to make it OJ. And they let the murderer get away, as OJ said that time after he got out of jail. They let the murderer get away and they ain't looking for him. But as a father, if it comes out that OJ actually was just taken up for his son, it's still a bad act. It's still something bad to do, but it will make you change your perspective of OJ Simpson, right? That he's not a murderer. He knew of the murder and he just let his son, he took the charge for his son. Now, if my child came to me and said, I just did something totally horribly wrong, I murdered her, Dad, I'm sorry, what can I do? I don't know if I could just grab him by the hand and say, come on, we're walking to this police station. Being that who it was, my ex-wife that I didn't like, that was getting me for child support, I don't think I can take his hand and walk him into the police station. Am I just wrong? Am I an evil person? I don't think so. But it touches something, like I say, you hit that point sometime where you like, what do? I know this is bad, but I love my child more than the situation that he's in. Like I said, I just don't see me taking his hand and bringing him down to the police station. I see me saying, okay, let me gather all this and let me just think about what we're gonna do, which would make sense. OJ had to take that flight that night. He went out and people think that's when he committed the murders. But think if he just met up with his son, took the evidence, therefore he has blood on him, therefore he's sweating because it's a real tough situation. It's a real brain boggling situation. You know, it's one of those things that you just react and you're not really thinking about it. You react and then later you're going to do what you have to do. But I'm going to leave it right there. As I said, if you like today's content, make sure you share, like, and subscribe to the channel. It really helps. And make sure you hit the notifications so we all get notifications when we drop our videos. I just want to say rest in peace to Nicole Brown Simpson. Rest in peace to Ronald Goldman and his family. I know they still take it hard after all these decades and decades and decades. So I'm gonna leave it right there. Get in that comment section. Let me know, do you think Jason Simpson was actually the murderer of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ryan Goldman? I've been Sean Mack, and this is Death After Sports. Nicole Brown Simpson.